Tonight on Formula One Daredevils, Homer Simpson is a weirdo.
How's it going, everybody? It is Stunner here, and welcome to the final part of the Simpsons Hit and Run, Part 14. Now, this part is not going to be too overly long. It's just going to be a let's have fun part, because we're going to be cheating. And there's two options to enter cheat codes in this game. The first option I'm going to be showing here is the only one that gives you an audio detection that you entered the code correctly. But I'm going to be mostly doing the second option because it's just more convenient to me. So for this first one, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be, in order to enter any code, you have to hold down both triggers. The buttons will differ depending on which version of the game you're playing. And you press A, B, A, B. You'll get a beeping sound from a horn, like that. You'll get a different sound if you enter it wrong. And we're going to enter right into the game. Now, I'd like to mention the first code that I enter, which I said was AB, AB. Again, the buttons will differ depending on which console, which version of the game you're playing. You have to have at least beaten the game to get the code to work. If you try entering this code and you haven't beaten the game, it actually won't work. What the code will normally do if you beat the game is it'll unlock every single vehicle that you can get through the phone booth. However, if you're using it on a 100% save and you enter the code, if you press any one of the trigger buttons, you get a secret vehicle list that pretty much extends the amount of vehicles you can choose to drive, which, yes, includes, like I was mentioning, the Black Ferrari. This is how you can drive the other Ferrari in the game. You just gotta do everything in the game 100% in order to get that car list screen thing. So just keep that in mind. Then you can just drive it around and all that kind of stuff, which is quite welcomed. But that's not the only code. There's quite a few of them. And I got them up on my phone here so I can just quickly see them. So the second method is to go into the options here and hold down the triggers and press the buttons. Now, at this screen, you're not going to get any audio detection, but if you do enter them, they will work. So for the first one I'm going to do is YYXX. And now, when I run into any vehicle, they immediately blow up. It's kind of a good way to grind for money in this game if you're kind of short on cash, but also very easy to get hit and run. Even though that being said, you can do the same thing to cops, so not really a big deal. Now, the next code I'm going to put in is XXXX. Yes, literally just press X 4 times. Now you'll probably notice, if I can get a good straight line, your vehicle is now pretty damn fast. It goes very quick, and usually it's so hard to it makes it more difficult to control because of it, because much higher speed, and the camera it's not really well supported for it. But that's that one. However, there's a bit of an extra step to it. Go back to the options and press Y, 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 Y. And now the car is ridiculously fast. When you put both of them in, get ready for pretty much insanity. And let's try to get the wrench in here because I do not want this car to blow up just yet. It is pretty much go fast time. But then again, you may be wondering, well, how can I have all this kind of fun at the same time as my cars are health? Say I'm driving. The Ferrari is not exactly the strongest car. Okay, yeah, actually, no, that's right. The strongest car in the game. So how can, say you want to use all this speed stuff and just have a lot of absolute ridiculous fun? Well, there is a code to help you out for that. You go into the options, as before, and press YA, YA. Now, no matter how much you hit, no matter what you do, in fact, the wrench will probably help show that off even more, because I did have a bit of damage beforehand. And the camera's freaking. And big hit. Your car can no longer take any damage. It is invincible. And that's pretty sweet. But guess what? there's still more codes and a pretty fun one next. Go back and now press XXXY. Again, with every code, make sure you have the triggers held down. And now press the horn button, and you get a jump. Jeez, that taxi. And this jump can be very capable of breaking the game in certain aspects, depending on if you tend to use it in the right spot. So yeah, you pretty much have a car that's just completely insane now. But again, there's still more. Let's go back, hold triggers, and now press YYBX. Start to continue. Now you've got a speedometer. This is a much smaller code, but it's, you know, quite a nice welcomed one. I kind of don't understand why they didn't just make this speedometer thing a something that's always there. It's kind of strange why they would make it a code, but whatever. Doesn't matter. At least it's there. So at least this will give you an idea of how fast the car will go. And when you have the super speed codes, yeah, you can see that speed up just climb. I mean, look at that. I was almost 400 until we hit that spot. But now there's more. We're going to go back in the options, and now we're going to press BABY, or baby. You get this kind of strange grid view. I don't really understand the point of this code, to be honest. It's kind of And it kind of does slow the game down a bit, too, I find. And look at that, over 500 miles an hour, and the camera just can't stay with it. Yeah, it's admittedly not a very good code. I'm not a big fan of it. Like, there's not I don't find much point to it, to me. It just seems like a debug thing that they decided to just keep it in there. Anyways, but there's more stuff. Next code is BBBA. Now we're going to press the camera button. And remember some of those camera views from the bonus races? Well, now you can get them in regular the regular mode, including some of these extra ones like this high up view. There's a very close view. A view that pretty much keeps the camera locked in this position. And unfortunately, I don't have my second controller out, so this camera is worthless right now. But that second camera is a free camera, and you use a controller plugged into the second port to change the views and everything, or at least modify it. So that's pretty cool. Now, before I send off, I'm not gonna be showing it off in the videos because I don't feel like doing all the resetting and changing all the stuff. But if you play these games on certain dates, or you just change the your console's date and time, or well, not time exactly, but date, you can get certain themes. For example, if you play the game on January 1st, you'll get a New Year's theme. If you set it for October 31st or play it then, you'll get a Halloween theme. If you set it for the last Thursday in November, you get a Thanksgiving theme. And if you set it for December 25th, you get a Christmas theme. And I'll also show off before I set off here that with this mode, you can even access some, not only vehicles that you could never get your hands on, like as well, but also vehicles that weren't, a few vehicles that went unused. Like, you may remember that there was 4 cell phone cars that we had to destroy, but they all look the same. Well, I'm guessing the original idea was they were all gonna be different because there's 4 variations of it, all with a different cell phone sound and a different color. And I can even drive things like the Nanoplex minivan, if I felt like it. And there is also you can also bring in any of the traffic vehicles from other levels into this level, which is pretty cool. Remember though, to get that secret car menu, you gotta beat the game 100%, and just to prove it, 100%. You're probably wondering, did I do all that off screen? No. If you probably remember, I did actually save the game onto the second slot. This is the first slot. I didn't exactly do this 100%. I had a buddy of mine I used to know who knew everything about the game, and I still don't even know where everything is. I really should ask him if he even still remembers that is. And, you know, this is just kind of my fooling around save. So, yeah, I think that's going to call it there. I don't really have too much more else to show. That was pretty much all the codes. Unfortunately, there's no code to disable hit and run, which kind of sucks, really. So, but, you know, not exactly a big deal. So anyways, guys, that has been The Simpsons Hit and Run, and it's a very fun game. It's pretty interesting to see a GTA-styled game that knows how to poke fun of it and do it successfully. There's been many other attempts from other companies that haven't done it as such as well. And Simpsons Hit and Run, despite having the Simpsons license and having all the kind of stuff to keep notice of, it's quite a decent game. And I would definitely pick it up if you ever find it for the cheap, because the cheap is the best way to get it. That way, you save a lot of money and get a really sweet game. Anyways, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this LP. And next up, of course, as you probably may have noticing to the formula, I'm going to be doing a co-op LP. And if you've been keeping up to date track of some of my social feeds from my social media accounts, you know what game that will be. So thank you guys for watching, and take care. Hope you enjoyed, and see you sometime again on YouTube and or GameAnyone.com.